Welcome to EduRev.
Hello and welcome to EduRev. My name is Harshmeet Singh. In this video, I will be discussing with you a shorter version of Class 6 Geography NCERT book, The Earth, Our Habitat. I have appeared for the UPSC interview twice, and over 100 of my students have achieved great ranks in the IAS and in various state PCS examinations throughout the country. As you know, the Class 6 Geography NCERT book helps you in forming the basic understanding about geographical concepts that you will read about in your higher classes as you go on. This particular book starts by telling you about the Earth in the solar system. As you know, the Earth is not alone in the solar system. There are billions of stars which are in our solar system. These stars have their own heat and light and are indeed made up of gases. There are many celestial bodies around us, the sun, the moon and the stars as well. Sun in fact is also one of the stars in the solar system itself. In fact, sun is the nearest star to the earth. It also forms the basis of life on the earth. It is the primary source of all the energy that we have on the earth right now. Sun itself is made up of huge size and has extremely hot gases. That is why it is the primary source of energy on the earth right now. As you know, not many exploratory missions have been carried out for the sun. In fact, ISRO right now is in the stage of planning. There is a mission called the Aditya mission, which ISRO is in the works of carrying out to explore the surface of the sun. How are the reactions taking place, which gas is converting into what, etc., etc. All these are details that ISRO is trying to get a better idea about. Just to tell you a bit in brief about the size of the solar system. The width of the sun, that is the diameter or the radius of the sun, is about 400 times that of the moon. If this is the moon, the radius of the moon, and if you compare it with the radius of the sun, you will find that the radius of the sun is about 400 times that of the moon. In fact, the distance between the moon and the earth, and if you compare the distance between the sun and the earth, the distance between sun and the earth is about 400 times as compared to distance between moon and the earth. That is why you see it's so difficult to carry out any missions to the sun. Obviously, it's very far away from the earth. Obviously, it is very hot, and that is why it needs a lot of technical intelligence to have a mission to go so close to the sun to actually carry out such exploratory missions. As I said, sun is the ultimate source of light and heat for our solar system. It is about 150 million kilometers away from the earth. The distance between the sun and the earth is actually called 1 AU, 1 astronomical unit, which is the distance between the sun and the earth. Now, apart from the stars, on most of the nights we can also see the moon, which is a natural satellite. As you know, earth has moon, but there are some planets which have more than one natural satellite. For example, Saturn is known to have a lot of moons. Earth, on the other hand, has only one natural satellite. Moon also, if you have noticed, takes, or at least as we see it, in various forms. We see the full moon, that is the Purnima. Fortnight later, that is 15 days later, we cannot see the moon at all and we call it Amavasya, or the new moon night. So the moon appears at different times in different shapes and different positions in the sky. Now, what exactly is going on with the moon? If you see, these are the different stages of the moon, depending upon at what time of the month you are actually looking at the moon. Now, the interesting fact about the moon is it takes about 27 days to move around the earth and exactly the same time to complete one spin. So it's one rotation. The period for its one rotation is equal to the period for its one revolution as well. And that is why, interestingly, from the earth, we can only see one side of the moon, because by the time that the other side would have to come in, it also basically takes a rotation. So Earth has only one natural satellite, the moon, and even for that satellite we only see one single side. We never get to see the other side of the moon from planet Earth. The book also talks about certain constellations. As you know, constellations are patterns formed by the stars in the sky. For example, this is a constellation. This is called Saptarishi, that is the seven sages. It's very, very easy recognizable in the sky. Obviously, the sky has to be clear, not in cities such as Delhi where you can't even see the stars very clearly. There are many other constellations as well. It is a part of the Ursa Major constellation, that is also called the Big Bear. Now, if you live in a city where you don't, or fortunately don't have much pollution, you have a clear sky, it is not that difficult to actually see and make out certain constellations in the sky. In the ancient times, in fact, people used these constellations to know the directions during the night with the help of the stars. The North Pole, or the pole star as we call it, is constant in the sky. It always denotes the north direction. In fact, it is said that the sailors, when they were lost in the sea in the ancient times, they used to look at the north. They used to look at the North Star or the Pole Star, and whatever the direction of the Pole Star was, they knew this is the north direction because it is always at the same position in the sky. Now, apart from that, in the solar system, we are also fascinated by the planets that we have, the 8 planets that we have. These are celestial bodies which don't have their own heat or light. As we said earlier as well, Earth is provided heat and light by the sun. These planets are very, very small as compared to stars such as the sun. The Earth is a planet on which we live. It receives most of its light and its heat from the sun itself. Just to give you an idea, the solar system has the sun, which and it has its own gravity. Every celestial body has its own gravity, and all the planets are bound by the sun's gravity. In fact, more than 99% mass of the entire solar system is in the sun itself. Apart from this, we also have many planets, dwarf planets such as Pluto, etc. We have several moons, millions of asteroids, comets, meteors, etc. So our solar system has a lot of things. We have about 8 planets that revolve around the sun in a fixed path, which is called the orbit. As you can see on the screen, the speed of rotation of every planet is very, very different. The farther the planet from the sun, the more time it takes to have one complete revolution around the sun. Mercury, for example, is the closest to the sun and takes only 88 days to complete one single revolution. The farther the planet, the more time it would take to complete one single revolution. Interestingly, there are certain planets which are very similar to the Earth. Planet Venus, for example, is called the twin of the Earth because it has a similar shape and size. Pluto, on the other hand, is a dwarf planet. Till some years ago, it was considered as a full planet, but now it is considered as a dwarf planet. It is designated by the International Astronomical Union. The Earth is the third nearest planet to the Sun, as we know, after Mercury and Venus, and it's also the fifth largest planet in the solar system. Now, although we might see that the Earth is round in shape, but in reality, it is slightly flattened at the poles. So it's slightly flattened here. And this shape of the Earth is called geoid. So the shape of the Earth has a special name which is called the geoid. Earth also has a very special place in the solar system because it is the only planet where life is known to exist. The conditions are favorable to support life. The air is neither too hot, neither too cold. It has air, it has water, which is extremely important for all the living organisms to survive, and that is why Earth is the only planet where we have these kind of organisms. There are certain other smaller materials in the solar system which we must talk about. For example, asteroids. Now, asteroids are rocks. When the planets were formed, there were certain irregular rocks that remained from the planet. These are called asteroids. They revolve around the sun and are too small to be planets. There are millions of asteroids ranging from few kilometers to few feet. They can be very small, they can be very big. They are found between the orbits of Mars and Jupiter only. This is an important part of information. As you can see, this is the orbit of Mars, this is the orbit of Jupiter. So most of them are found over here between Mars and Jupiter. We also have meteoroids. Sometimes an asteroid can smash into one another, which causes very, very small pieces. These small pieces are called meteoroids. So when two asteroids strike each other, some small pieces break out. These are called meteoroids. Now, for meteoroids, remember there are different types of words that are used. There are meteors, there are meteoroids also. Now, what is the difference in the three? Meteoroid, as I said, are substances that fall off. When the asteroids combine or when the asteroid actually collides, some substances that fall off are called meteoroid. Now, when they fall down, they try to enter the Earth's atmosphere. Usually, when they try to enter the Earth's atmosphere, because of the atmospheric friction and because of the pressure that is applied, most of the meteoroids don't make it to the surface of the Earth. They turn into dust, they turn into vapor, and then they go away. So, when they are trying to enter the Earth's surface, they are called meteors. And if they don't hit the surface, there's only a bleak light that you see in the sky. That is, these are called shooting stars. टूटा हुआ तारा as you call it. So shooting star or टूटा हुआ तारा, these are meteors. And if they hit the surface, अगर कुछ बड़े size के होते हैं, if they are bigger in size and they manage to hit the Earth's surface when they are very small, these are called meteoroid. So in short, meteoroids are the ones which manage to hit the Earth's surface. Meteors are the ones which manage to enter the Earth's surface but not hit. Meteoroids are the ones which are in the original shape when they are formed when the asteroids actually break off. Now, our solar system is a part of a big galaxy, that is the Milky Way Galaxy. Galaxies itself are huge in size. They contain billions of stars and huge clouds of dust and gases. There are millions of such galaxies in the universe apart from our own Milky Way Galaxy. Thank you so much for watching this video.